So thank you for being here, everyone. So my name is Lisa Campbell. I am with you here today to lead you through some mindfulness practices. I know that some of you may be new to these practices, so I'll start with a beginner's mind. So let's take a few moments and we'll start with a brief centering exercise. So just come into a comfortable posture, sitting in your seat. And you can allow your eyes to gently close if that's comfortable. You can let your gaze be soft and downward. We'll just take a few moments to meet ourselves right where we are. So before you get really comfortable, before you get really settled into your posture, let's take a few moments just to notice what it feels like to be in your body, this beautiful body in this moment. What's the most noticeable thing that you're finding when you turn your attention to your beautiful body? You might feel a pulsing, a temperature, an ache or a pain. You might feel the rising and falling of the breath. Whatever you notice, just acknowledge as present moment, being in this body, sensing, living being. And if your body had a quality in this moment, how would you best describe how it feels to be in your body? Just let a word or words bubble up from within to be acknowledged. And then turning our attention to the breath without changing the breath. Notice where you sense the breath, maybe in the nostrils, maybe in the chest or the belly. As you become a little bit more familiar with your breath, notice if it's a long breath, a short breath, a deep breath, maybe felt way down in the belly, or maybe a shallow breath, just up in the throat. Meeting the breath right where it is, what is a word that best describes the quality of your breath right now? Good, and then bringing your attention to your mind, that place where you have thoughts, where you figure things out, where you imagine, where you visualize. And as you pay attention to the mind for a few moments, maybe you notice you have a lot of thoughts, or maybe there's just a few thoughts. Let's see if you can notice the quality of your mind in this moment. It might be confused mind, spacious mind, monkey mind all over the place. Or maybe if you have a really busy mind, a drunken monkey mind, really all over the place. Just meet the mind as it is, meeting the breath as it is, your body as it is. And then let's invite the body, the mind, and the breath to relax, maybe just 10%. So maybe settling into your posture a bit, letting the belly be soft. Intentionally relaxing the face, unclenching the jaw, relaxing the hands. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, all the way down, filling up the belly. And as you breathe out, long, slow, deep breath, releasing, letting go. Let's do that 2 more times. Long, slow, deep breath in through the nose. Long, slow, deep breath out the nose. Last one, long, slow, deep breath in. Long, slow, deep breath out. Good job. And before you open your eyes, just let a word or words that best describe how you feel in this moment rise up to be acknowledged. And when you're ready, you can allow your eyes to gently open. And we'll take a few moments just to say hi, check in. Today we're going to do something different. Every week we do a different practice, especially with mindfulness. There are many different practices that we can do. You may have heard of eating with mindful awareness or walking with mindful awareness. Ultimately, mindfulness really invites us to be in the present moment. So you have many ways to do that. You can, for example, listen just to the sounds around you. You can just notice what you're seeing in the present moment. Usually with mindfulness practices, we're paying attention to something like the breath, because the breath is always with us. And we're just paying attention to the sensations of rising, of falling, of just being a human being. Now, when we come to meditation, any kind of meditation, it's going to be very normal for your mind to have thoughts. And especially with mindfulness, we're not trying to get rid of the thoughts. As a matter of fact, we're simply noticing, wow, look at the mind. There's another thought and another thought and another thought. And so when we come to a practice where we're inviting our attention just to rest on one thing, you might start to notice that everything starts to calm down. The mind, the body, which are very much connected, and it starts to give you a sense of more peacefulness. Now, ultimately, we're looking at the whole nervous system. Technically, we're putting ourselves into the rest and digest side of the house with our nervous system. It's very different than if you're very busy, or maybe you've just gotten off that difficult meeting, and you might find that you're having a stress response. Maybe the hands are tight, maybe the jaw is tight. So it's pretty easy to notice what side of the house you're on. You're either on the stressed side or the relaxed, the rest and digest side. Now there are some benefits to actually having some stress in your life. We call that actually eustress. There's a good stress. It's that kind of feeling that, oh, I need to get myself out of bed today. There are things that need to be done, or maybe it gets us online to do our classes. There's a little bit of stress in our lives that helps us to perform, to respond appropriately. But sometimes that stress can be really super overwhelming. You might have a lot of little stressors in your life, and then maybe one big stress like being locked in the house or life being changed can be a little overwhelming. So with mindfulness, we're really just paying attention and practicing allowing, accepting whatever we're experiencing without needing ourselves to be restful. Because quite frankly, if we're not feeling restful, it's really hard to make yourself feel restful. So when we do the practices of breathing or meditating, we quite normally, naturally accept ourselves just as we are, and then start to notice that we can actually calm ourselves down by just paying attention to something we choose that can be relaxing. So, some people will come to a practice and say, I just like to hear nice, happy words in my mind. So that's what we're going to actually do today. We're going to do a practice that helps us to stay centered. And this is a practice you can do seated or out and about. Maybe you're walking through your house and all of a sudden you notice, wow, I'm feeling a little stressed out, a little off center. So the practice we're going to do today is a centering practice. We'll go through the practice and then hopefully the invitation is to then take it off your cushion today. So let's come into a comfortable posture. When we come to meditate, we invite the body to be relaxed and upright. We begin to settle in. And just take a moment as the body settles. You also might want to make some movements just to settle in. Again, you can allow your eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. Or if you'd rather have the eyes open, the gaze is soft and downward. And I'd like to invite you to think of a word or words that nurtures a state of positivity or health or connection. So any word or phrase that will resonate with you, that nurtures love in your heart, peace in the mind. It could be a word like peace, a phrase such as I am healthy. It could be a mantra, if you have a TM mantra, your own personal mantra. But anything, any word or phrase that helps you feel connected. Maybe I am connected to the divine. I am fine. And what we're going to do for this particular practice is just softly say in our minds our word or phrase. A word or phrase that reminds us of the connection, of love. And so it becomes our point of focus, a symbol for remembering. And you can softly repeat your word or phrase, beginning to pair it or synchronize it with the breath as you breathe in, as you breathe out. And as the mind begins to settle, your word or phrase might begin to disappear. That's perfectly fine. And just let your attention rest on the breath. And eventually the breath may disappear and you may find yourself in a calmness, a stillness, a place of abiding. If a thought arises or you become disconnected to that place of abiding, drop in your word or phrase, much like a windshield wiper, wiping the screen of your awareness to reconnect with your symbol of connection. And following the breath, to that place of calmness, abiding. And resting in that calmness as best you can. If another thought arises, coming back to your word or phrase, following the breath, returning to calm abiding. So we'll do this practice together in silence for the next 10 minutes or so. You may find that you need to reconnect to your word or phrase 1,000 times. What a great opportunity to reconnect. Each time, connecting to your word, your phrase, smoothing into the breath, into the calm abiding. I'll mind the time and ring the bell at the end of this practice. And gently release the practice. Allow your eyes to gently open. Coming back into the room. Feeling whatever you're sitting upon. Noticing the sounds, the sights. And mostly noticing how you're feeling in your beautiful body in this moment. So I chose calm. That was my centering word. So it can be any word or words. It could be Sat Nam, Shanti, peace, I am well. So before I offer the reading today, I'd like to invite you to take this practice off your cushion, off your seat, and anytime today or in the upcoming days where you feel a bit disconnected, ungrounded, maybe you've lost your center, come back to your centering word and just drop it in. Reconnect to that calm, that peaceful, that feeling of being a little bit more spacious. So I'd like to share a reading with you today from Eileen Caddy from the Findhorn community in Scotland. She writes, "Do you want to do something to help the world situation? Then look within. For never forget that it all starts in the individual. As you change your consciousness to love, peace, harmony, and unity, the consciousness of the whole world will change. But it's not always very pleasant when you start doing it. You will find dark spots which need to be cleared within yourself. You will find that your motives are not always of the highest, and your likes and dislikes are far more pronounced than you may have imagined. You will find that you are very inclined to discriminate when there should be no discrimination, for all are one in the divine. You will find that your love for one another is not all it should be. Start putting all your cards on the table and be determined to do something about it, and start right now. There's no better time, and I am here to help you. Call upon the divine at any time and let me guide your every step." Yay. So, yay. Thank you so much for being here with me. Be well,
Hopefully.
okay?